it's Lisa from My Dreaming Soap. Welcome to my channel and thanks for dropping by. Now today we're going to do an autumn themed soap. It's going to be quite similar to a soap you'll have seen me done in the past where I did my apple tree, but I'm going to do it as an autumn tree with falling leaves and all of that sort of thing. So the first thing I've done is I've got my handy Custom Craft Tools Caterpillar. And what I did yesterday is I just made a very simple block of brown soap. So I actually made the brown and I just swirled in, just a little in the pot swirl, just some black with that, just give a little bit of a movement on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. Now I made this sort of half a soap in the same mould that I'm going to put my apple tree in. So I'm just going to go through and use this to now cut some pieces off, and then I'm going to shape those to make my apple tree trunk. Okay, so we've got some swirly designs, but what you're actually going to see with my apple tree is this will be the trunk. I'm going to shape it slightly and hopefully we'll pick up, as we cut through the soap, we'll pick up some of those swirly designs for the tree trunk. So I've just got my little tree trunk, and the first thing I want to do is, because I want to have this not as just a plain bit like that, I want to actually have some branches, so I'm just going to sort of use this tool and just take out a bit from the middle. Doesn't matter if it goes a bit wobbly, it doesn't have to be identical all the way through. Now remember, if you're doing something like this, make sure that clearly you want it the right shape, but bear in mind you want to get soap into any of these holes that you make. So do make sure you give yourself a shot by making this hole as clean as you can and put a reasonable thickness on it as well. And whenever we're doing something like this, just bear in mind, you can obviously look at the end and see how you're getting on, but make sure you've got the same sort of depth all the way through, so you're getting an accurate picture. Now I don't think my ends are as deep as my middle, so that's better. Because you don't want your tree to look great at the ends and then rubbish in the middle, do you? Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that sort of cutout of the tree, and now I'm just going to shape the sides to make it more tree trunk like. Now this isn't a special tool, it's just some very cheap, as you can see they're cheap, it kind of like falls apart. Just some, I think they're just some polymer clay tools I got in a kit from Amazon. Just going to use the end bit. And then when we're happy with our shape, just making sure that you're happy that you've got that shape all the way down. It's very easy to concentrate on a shape on the end and then just not carry it through. So I'm pretty happy with that as a shape for my tree. And we can pop that into our soap mould. The rest of this, it's unfragranced, so that would be great. I can just scrunch that up and I can use that for some soap dough. So let's start doing our first layer then. So this is going to be the grass at the bottom of the soap. So in here I've got a mixture of shimmer blue and sunshine yellow. Again, if you've got a green mica that you can use, I do have green micas, but obviously it's this whole assessment thing, they're not in this assessment. So I'll just make a green with the colours that I've got available to me. Okay, so let's just get these blended up into our green for our grass. Fragrance oil is toffee apple from Craftivator in the UK, and it is a really gorgeous fragrance. You definitely first of all get the hit of a nice fresh apple smell, and then you get quite quickly afterwards gets that sort of lovely caramel toffee type smell. So it definitely does 100% really say toffee and apple to you. Now it does discolour slightly, not badly, it does go to sort of a biscuity type of colour, but I'm hoping with the colours that I'm using that we can sort of disguise that and it won't have too much effect on the soap. It doesn't move particularly quickly, this one, it's absolutely fine, and here it has just actually thinned out my trace a little bit, so I'm just going to give a quick stick blend. Now when I'm doing a layer, I normally like to have my layers really quite fluid if I'm after a flat layer. I'm still keeping this pretty fluid because obviously if it's fluid, you've got very little chance of getting air gaps and lumps and things like that in your soap. But I don't want this to be a completely level layer. So I will pour it in and then I'll muck around with the top of it before I pour my next layer. Okay, so here's our soap mould and just easy, pour it in the bottom. So I will just leave that to set up a bit. I will leave it a reasonable amount of time because that tree, it's got to support that tree trunk without the tree sinking right through down to the bottom. So we've got some embeds for this soap. So we've got our little tree that we made earlier, and then I've also just extruded, and I didn't do them on camera because I'm sure if you see my videos in the past, you've seen me extrude lots of stuff. I've just got some little leaf shape extrusions, and these are going to be leaves falling off the autumn tree. So I've got some of those in terracotta red and some of those in sunshine yellow. Our base is set up nicely now, so I'm just going to, I don't want to, really make it sort of weird shapes or anything, but I just don't want it completely flat. So here, can you see I'm just sort of stippling across with a little spatula? Just to stop that surface being completely flat. That's all I'm after at this point. Now I haven't worried too much about going right down the centre bit because that's where the tree's going to go, so that will just push that down again. So let's go and get the tree. So here's our tree we made, and this should fit perfectly in the mould because remember I made it in this mould yesterday when I made it. So pop that tree in, and I'm just going to make sure I don't want to push it too far into the grass because I want it sitting on top and it's nice and firm, but I do want to make sure that, the bottom of that tree may not be completely level, so I want to make sure that I am pushing it right down onto the soap so that I'm not going to get any gaps or bubbles or anything. And then I'm going to get some of those leaves and just drop some leaves on the bottom. Okay, so there's just a couple on, well, 3 on the bottom there. And then what we're going to do is going to get the blue and fill that in for the sky that we will see underneath the boughs of the tree. So I've got the oil that I've calculated for this layer, and this time again I've got some of that shimmer blue, the same colour that I used to make my grass, but now I've just got some titanium dioxide. And I find to get a nice sort of sky blue colour, the equal parts of titanium dioxide and the blue work for me, but obviously that will vary depending on what blue you've got, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's get this mixed up. Now for this blue, I certainly want I want it to be really runny, because I've got sort of the lumpy bits in the grass at the bottom, and also remember I've just popped those leaves in, and I just want to make sure that the soap gets all around those little areas and doesn't leave any gaps. So let's bring back our soap mould. Okay, so I'm just initially concentrating on just getting that blue right underneath and around any of those leaves. And I've just spotted there's one area where that leaf is really touching against the tree trunk, and it just makes me a bit nervous that it may not get any soap. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just really just making 100% sure that I'm not going to have any gaps around those leaves, which would leave gaps in our soap. And once I'm happy with that, we can think about the rest. And this is starting to thicken a little, which is good because it will then support the other leaves that I want to put in.
I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon needs the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my
So now this is nice and firm. I'm just going to shape this blue bit so it sort of looks like the bottom boughs of the tree.
I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire.
Okay, so there's our shaped area done. Our top of the tree is where things are going to start getting a little busier. So what I've done is I've just taken the soap that I need and just mixed that really, really lightly, just barely to an emulsion. And then I want to have some autumnal leaves. So I've got some red, orange and brown. I'm going to have yellow as well, but at the moment I'm just keeping my yellow out, just in case I need to tweak that orange a little bit, and then the rest of it can go into my pot with the yellow in. So I'm just going to split these off into 4 even parts and then I'll be back. So I've just split these off evenly and I'm just going to mix up those colours. I'd already dispersed the micas into some oil. And once again, if you can put as many colours as you like into a soap, then you could just use an orange mica. Because I'm limited, I've obviously had to make my orange, so I didn't then have a red mica and an orange mica and a yellow mica. I could cut that down by just having red and yellow and making orange, and then again I could use those colours to then go in and make brown. Okay, now I think that orange is quite different to the red, so I'm pretty happy with that. So my yellow can just all go into my yellow. Okay, so those are my autumn leaf colours. And then just taking my fragrance oil and just dividing it between them. Okay, so now I'm going to pour these into some squeeze bottles. They won't necessarily all fit in at once, but that's okay because we can top up. And again, if you've seen me do this before, you know I'm much more a fan of small squeeze bottles that I have to refill. I just find the big ones difficult to squeeze. And also, if you leave some soap out of the squeeze bottle, you can keep stirring that and keeping it fluid. And then the other advantage of having a little bit out of your squeeze bottle is you can just keep an eye and see what's going on with your trace. So you can make sure, at the moment I haven't got a trace, and I'm just going to wait till I've got a barely perceptible trace, and then I'm going to start squeezing these because I don't want them to get too thick before I've finished. Okay, so as soon as they're ready, I'll come back.
I don't know what I'd do without you. You make me smile, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon is the snow, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you do. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you do.
So everything's poured in there, and I've just let that set up a little bit because I don't want the top of the soap to be flat. I want it to be slightly rounded so it sort of completes the shape of the tree. So I'm just going to now pull some bits in off the side to get that rounded effect on the top. And then sort of mix them in a little bit, and then this will go in the oven as normal to C-pop overnight, and then we'll cut it tomorrow.
I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Just tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. 'Cause I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Just tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. 'Cause I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Just tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire.
everyone, so here we are the next day, and here is our soap all unmolded. So let's get it chopped up, shall we? And let's have a look at our autumn tree. Let's get this split out. Oh, so there we go. Oh, and I'm really pleased with that. So I've got all my little scattering of my leaves just dropping down onto the floor. Can you see how nicely that tree trunk came out? Just that little in the pot swirl just gave all that sort of nice effect to the tree trunk. And I like the way my leaves are sort of slightly different angles and do actually look like they're floating down to the ground. Let's have a look at another one. So again, I really love the tree trunk, as that's got some really lovely shapes in it, and the leaves, I think they've come out really quite well as well. Just doing that really tiny weeny sort of little squirt with the squeeze bottle does really give it sort of a nice autumnal leafy effect. So I am very pleased with those. Let's have a look at a couple more. They're all going to be fairly similar as we go through. And then I'll just leave you with a final photo of the soaps. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you like the soap. If you do, it would be great if you gave me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see what I'm making in the future, then why not subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching everyone. Happy soaping!